I'm Pride Sinclair, and I'm with PikiGeek.com, and I'm here with Danny Day, who is developer on Desktop Dungeons. Why don't you describe the game for us?
Oh no, wait, that's a common problem. Reviewers often have a difficult time explaining the game. It's a short play session puzzle roguelike, I think is the direct taxonomy of the game. I think that's what people have decided on now. We basically just say it's a really good coffee break game, and it takes you 10 minutes to play, and it's really fun.
For those that don't know, could you please describe what a roguelike is?
Right. A roguelike is traditionally a randomly generated game that focuses on permadeath. So you have a single character, and you don't manage to save. If you die, that's it. Desktop Dungeons is our kind of like take on being able to play those really involved, interesting games that always have these interesting emergent sessions in a short time period. Because we got kind of annoyed that it was going to take us 2 hours to play something. So we built something that you can play in 10 minutes.
Awesome. Okay, so when you were building this roguelike, they're generally considered pretty hardcore games. When you were designing your game, what did you think had to go and what stayed to kind of cater to someone who may or may not be familiar with roguelikes?
Okay, well, one of the things that we did, and when I say we, I mean Rodane, our lead designer, because he's awesome, we basically tried to make every single decision meaningful. So when you're playing a roguelike, there's a lot of stuff that you do that's kind of noise. And because we condensed the whole game down to a single screen, everything you do is useful. Like, the only way to get health back in the game, for instance, is to uncover new terrain. You can move around, monsters won't attack you unless you attack them. And as you're moving around, that's the only way to get back health. So suddenly, the darkness of the terrain is both something you want to explore and something you want to conserve, because it's going to be useful later. So there's a balance to be struck with almost everything in the game, and we've been evaluating that. And as people play, as we play the game, as we play test, if something is not immediately interesting, not immediately something that makes players go, should I do this or should I do that? If it's a non-choice, we remove it from the game.
Excellent. All right. So in our brief play session, we saw the town map and the customization there. Do you want to talk a bit about the inspiration behind that?
Oh yeah, well, the game's been available as a freeware for a long time now. That's actually what won us the IGF Excellence in Design Award this year. Sorry, I'm really tired. So we won an award at IGF with the freeware alpha that's still available on desktopdungeons.net. I got to plug it. There you go.
There you go.
And the new version, we wanted to like push the meta game elements. So you're playing for 10 minutes, and we had these unlock sessions that you would get. So if you won with a fighter, for instance, you'd unlock the next class in that tree, which is the berserker. And then you'd unlock the warlord after that, for instance. And people loved that. And we said, okay, how can we make that better? So we split that up into quests, which come from the tavern, and we split up the class progression into the kingdom. So as you upgrade your kingdom, you get access to more classes, more races, and like interesting little effects. Like you can bring in fireballs with you into the dungeon, or you can bring in a better sword, that sort of stuff. So we wanted to make it so that instead of just being like, okay, you have to finish and then progress, we wanted to give players control over their own kingdom, so everybody was going to have something different.
Excellent. All right, one last question. Would you like to talk a little bit about the different environments that people will be playing in, and what changes from quest to quest?
Okay, well, there's two things when you say environments. The first is that comes to mind is like, well, everybody always asks, when's it coming to my iPhone or my Android device or whatever, and that's soon. That's one of the reasons we started on the full version that we're building for a while now. The focus is to have PC, Mac, and then as soon as that's ready, we'll go to mobile. So that's one environment. At that point, you should probably be able to play on our website, you'll play the PC build, and then on the train on your phone, you'll still have the same kingdom. So
Excellent.
They'll sync.
Excellent.
So that's something that we feel very strongly about. The different environments that we're going for now, we've got I think in design, we've got an Arctic area, we've got deserts. Deserts are hard. Genies are horrible. They're really tricky. So yeah, we've got deserts, we've got a swamp that we really like. I think there's a forest in planning. So there's all sorts of different tile sets. At the moment, we've only got the one in the version that you can play on the site at the moment. But we've been working on a lot more. And I think we kind of we don't like going with the conventions. So the tundra isn't in the north of the map. The tundra is to the east. So if you're going to the Arctic, you're going east for no apparent reason. So.
Simply to change it up.
Yeah, we decided we didn't like a lot of the you have a fantasy game, you've got a medieval setting, then everything is sort of swords and sorcery, and orcs do this. And orcs in our game are actually really intelligent. They like violence, So they live in these big mansions that are just really spiky.
Aha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Thank you for talking to us, Stan.
No worries.
Well, it's been Pride with PikiGeek.com, and make sure to check out desktopdungeons.net and play the current game. Thanks a lot.